What's up, heathens? How ya doing? Today we have more comments to go over, but first we gotta crown the dumbass from last week. So, last week's dumbass was... this dumbass right here! Yes, you, who say that evolutionists are the ones that don't think logically. Really? You think that Dirt Man and Rib Woman make more sense? Okay, bud. That's why you won Dumbass of the Week for last week. If you picked this dumbass last week, then you win 1,000,000 God points. Remember, these God points are worth about as much as the first sitting president to walk into North Korea as a friend. You ain't worth shit! Hey, speaking of dumbasses, today we find out how volcanoes are fake. Oh, and I probably smell like tuna fish anus. We're all just living in rainbow land. Something. I don't know. I had a lot of people come at me about the Kent Hovind debate. They all think that I lost. An internet biologist comes at me and tells me that I am wrong about evolution. And one of these days the blood moon will signal the end of time. So, if you heathens are interested in any of these dumbass comments, then please stay tuned. Aha! But first we have... Today I Learned! First up on Today I Learned of a study by the NOAA that has found that an oil leak in the Gulf of Mexico that began 14 years ago when a Taylor Energy Company oil platform sank during Hurricane Ivan has been releasing as much as 4,500 gallons of oil a day. Not 3 or 4 gallons a day as the rig owner claimed. Honestly, I don't even know why you would want to hide this. Well, I mean, I guess I know why, because you don't want to be an embarrassment to the company, you don't want to get in trouble or anything like that, but honestly, the amount of damage that this has done over the past 14 years is far greater than anybody's reputation. Like, damage done to a reputation. I don't know, it just seems very dipshitty for this guy to do this, or whoever, to like hide this fact. It's only contributed to the ruining of the only ecosystem we really have. Next up on Today I Learned that in 2015, Tommy Woodward, a 28-year-old Texan, ignored a large sign that says, "No swimming alligators," and instead yelled out, "Fuck the alligators!" and jumped into the lake. He was mauled to death almost instantly. Because when you jump into a lake full of alligators, basically cannonballing right onto the head of one of these motherfuckers, more than likely you're gonna get killed by an alligator. I don't know when a Texas man turned into Florida man, but holy fuck, it happened. Evolution exists, people! I don't know, this would be de-evolution, though, I would think. I don't know. I would say that anybody out there devolving into a Florida man routine is definitely evidence of de-evolution. The lawyers want me to say that de-evolution is not an actual thing. I'm just making that up for this bit. And finally on Today I Learned that there was a campaign to rename the Australian dollar to Dollary-Doo. After an episode of The Simpsons, supporters claimed it would increase demand for the currency. I don't know. I have to say that if I could get my hands on a Dollary-Doo, I fuckity would. Oh, what's the Dollary-Doo exchanging at today? I don't give a fuck. Just give me one of them sumbitches. Ah, yes. Now it's come to Out of Context Comics. If you guys don't know, we love Out of Context Comics here, so if you have an Out of Context comic or find one in the wild or something like that, you want to send it to me, look me up on Twitter at Godless Engineer. Today's Out of Context comic comes from Spider-Man, and I guess it's a crossover with Fantastic Four, or maybe Spider-Man's coming into a Fantastic Four thing. I don't know which particular comic this was in, but anyways, you have the thing there and you can see Spider-Man's hand going up his back or whatnot, and I don't know, it's a camera or something somebody's holding? Anyways, so Spider-Man says, "Snuggle buggles," and then the thing says, "Yeah, kid." And then I guess the reporter or whoever's standing there with a camera or whatever the fuck that little silver thing is says, "You couldn't smash this box for me, could you?" It's like, well, goddamn, I guess I could smash that box. Won't you bend on over, motherfucker? Let's go. I can tell you want a little obsidian inside you. Whatever the fuck the thing's made out of. It's rock. Ah, yes, finally, shitty-ass science. Shitty-ass science! gonna answer some science shit really wrong. Woohoo! Shitty ass science. You guys ready for this shit? Alright, let's go. Why is there no footage of penguins changing from their baby pajamas into their adult clothes? Well, goddamn it. Are you a pervert or something? Why you gotta ask these things? Anyways, penguins like their privacy, okay? So they change out their little pajamas for the bigger pajamas in fucking secret because nobody likes being filmed while they're changing. There are laws about that. Why in the fuck do you want to see a little penguin's dingle-danger? Huh? You fucking pervert? Whoever, R.S. Bennett, why you want to look at little penguins, huh? That's what I have to ask. But basically, if you don't know how to change your own fucking clothes, you just go behind an iceberg, which is what these guys would do. They have these iceberg-like little curtain thingies, and he gets out of his suit, and he puts on the bigger suit, because that's how it happens. Now, see, how he gets the other suit is another penguin dies elsewhere, and so they declothe him, and they have a nice ceremony and everything, and they send them off on one of those little island thingies, and then they have little fiery bow and arrows. It's kind of like a Viking thing. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because they're penguins if you really think about it, but they fire off the bow, they light the little ice thing on fire with the corpse of the older penguin, it floats off, it burns to a crisp, he gets donned with the new penguin suit, and that's how they change from a little penguin to a bigger penguin with the penguin suits and shit. Viking funerals at sea, that's what penguins do. I can't say penguins right. Alright, y'all go on, get into your fucking comments and stuff. God damn it, Billy Ray better not be in the comments this week. I gotta tell you right now, I'm gonna kick his ass. Oh, alright, y'all done with shitty ass science? Let's get on into the comments, shall we? Comments of the day. Prepare to please pump yourself into next week. Well, this first comment right here actually isn't from any of my social media, but it is one that I found online, and I wanted to share it with y'all. Read in the best voice ever. You know, my hick voice. That's the only voice I know how to do. But here we go. Volcanoes are fake by Mike. Part 1. Introduction. There are no volcanoes on Flat Earth. Flat Earth has no magma nor lava. Volcanoes are actually ancient mining waste piles manipulated to look like volcanoes. Oh, God. And why were they manipulated to look like volcanoes? Like, what was the purpose for manipulating them into thinking? Or for us to think that they look like volcanoes? Also, why can we see magma flow on the Earth? Like, we have actual video evidence. Like, you can go out to fucking Hawaii and see that shit, you know? I mean, that was all over the news. What was that, like last year or something like that? I realize this sounds crazy. Whew. You know, I thought I was the only one there for a second. Oh, goddamn, I'm glad you realize it too. But I will prove it in parts to follow. They fake volcanoes to get us to believe the Earth is round. Wait, how do we fake volcanoes? And why is it that volcanoes are the linchpin in proving that the Earth is a globe? I will try to present my evidence in a logical order from beginning with the best stuff to come later. This is all my original work, and I made all the photo exhibits I will present. As an offer of proof to entice you to follow this, here are a few exhibits to get started. Oh, okay. I'm guessing that there were pictures attached to this, but I don't have the pictures. Note, my full presentation is in separate parts and separate posts. This is ongoing, and I have parts yet to present. Please go to my homepage to find the other parts. Thanks for looking, commenting, and sharing. Well, Mike, I can only guess that you speak in the exact kind of tone that I do whenever you are writing this, because honestly, I don't see anybody that sounds like they have half a brain would actually write this kind of shit. Oh my god! Get to the fucking point. The first 4 minutes are you rambling and repeating yourself. I get that the first 4 minutes is kind of like an introduction and then it kind of leads you into the story. So, I mean, the first 4 minutes of the video really aren't going to be getting, like, to the actual point of the entire video. See, that's why you gotta watch the entire fucking video. I get that you have, like, the attention span of, I guess, a little bit more than a goldfish, but My point is that you got a short attention span. I get it, but maybe, widen that attention span a little bit just for that one fucking video. Might have more important information in there. Because that particular video is the reason why I will not do any more videos on Greg Locke. I've considered coming out of that particular retirement, but nothing has really made me want to even address his existence. Boring! You're fat! And probably like tuna fish anus. Wait, do you mean that I smell like tuna fish anus? Or do you think that I like tuna fish anus like I like to eat tuna fish ass? I don't know. I don't? And I don't know how you would know if I did? I get that you're just trying to be hurtful or, trying to incite an emotional reaction from me, but it's really just a fucking confusing comment. Because you say that I'm boring and then you say that I'm fat, which there are plenty of funny fat guys out there. I do believe I'm one of them fucks. Okay, so this particular Twitter conversation that happened, this guy actually did get banned from Twitter, but I still feel like a couple of his actual tweets are funny as hell. Yes, I do make them look silly and uninformed, but what do you expect? 99% of the atheists, activists online who pretend that science fiction equals science believe that a person can change genders just because they cross-dress and take chemicals to sound like a freak. Ha ha ha. Actually, no. I feel like gender is a very complex subject. I don't even fully understand gender or the complexities of gender, but I do know that people that are transgendered or any of the other, genders that are out there, it's not just that they like to cross-dress and they take chemicals. Prior to the hormone replacement therapy that some transgender people choose to do, they are still transgendered before that occurs. Because it's like a chemical thing in their brain. It's just how they're put together. It's an innate quality about them. Dumbass. How do you people watch this guy? Oh wait, I remember. It's cause you're all living in fucking Rainbow Land and here's your fucking Rainbow Land host Godless engineer with his fat ass head stuck on the clouds and you all just follow along like he's the fucking president of Rainbow Land or something. I mean, fuck, go back to the Queer Fest. Alright, Birdie Shane. Apparently you don't like the fact that I support the LGBT community. I don't know why this particular video makes you want to scream like this at me. And no, I don't consider myself fucking president of Rainbow Land, which I'm guessing is a derogatory statement towards the LGBT community. But in any case, I would think that Rainbow Land would be a fantastic fucking place, especially if the LGBT community was in charge of it. I think you need to work on actually rebutting points, because there was an awful lot of, that's just ridiculous, which is tantamount to personal incredulity. There was nothing significant here that made me think either of you won the debate. Well, obviously, you weren't listening to the fucking debate, because yes, that's just ridiculous is a very good response to the shit that Kent Hovind says. Kent Hovind doesn't make sense. None of his points actually match up to reality. And I gave plenty of rebuttals to his bullshit. I called him out on the whole, water spreading out from the center of the earth. Somehow, he just dismissed it with, oh, that's just how water does. And, he didn't actually give a good response as to why that particular vector occurs in his particular model. He never gave me a solid answer on that. He also lied about cephalopod or squid-like fossils. And while I may not have been able to give in-depth scientific answers to his bullshit, I think that just shaking my head and saying, well, that's ridiculous, that doesn't match reality, that's not what we observe, is the only way to respond to a lot of that. Because it's simply not what we observe in reality. I gave good counter examples to his bullshit, but that didn't matter. So it just came down to, well, that's not in reality. Sad. Kent had to waste his time with this child. Hey, listen, I may be 12 years old because I laughed at the whole whale penis thing. I got him to call me a pervert throughout this thing, and it was worth it. I don't care how old you consider me to be. Oh, man. And then when I was like, a 15-foot what, Kent? I couldn't hear you. You cut out a little bit. And then he seriously was starting to respond, and he was like, oh, you heard me. Oh, man, that's the highlight of that entire debate. I love these people who think they have it what it takes in so-called new evidence to beat Kent, only to find out they are sadly mistaken. They just won't learn. Well, for one thing, I actually started out that debate saying that this particular discussion has been dead for years. So that kind of implies that I'm not coming at this with new evidence. I didn't bring new evidence to disprove Kent. I just brought general knowledge to disprove Kent. So that's all you need. You just need general fucking knowledge to know that Kent Hovind is speaking bullshit. He said fetus. Fetus in Latin means small child to godless engineer. If you sat across from me in a meeting with all your head rubbing, eye rolling, and looks of contempt, you'd spend the rest of your miserable career writing superfluous specifications for equipment we would never specify. This is like a college professor debating a 5th grade elementary student. Kent ate this guy's lunch. In other words, this fool was totally crushed by Kent, but that was not a surprise. And I love that this comment was made by an End Times watcher. Okay, for one thing, regardless of what the word fetus means in Latin, what we mean by fetus now in the current context is a group of cells that could eventually form into a human child. But it is not one yet. That is what a fetus is. So I don't care what fetus means in Latin. I find it rather odd that you have to go all the way to a fucking dead language in order to support your claim that a fetus is a child. Also, if you sat across from me in a meeting, I like how you think that I write equipment specifications or something, or do something like equipment related in my engineering field. I've been very public about the fact that I'm a software engineer, so I'd be writing like technical documents and stuff like that for software. But even so, I mean, honestly, if you were to do that, I don't know why I would feel bad about it. I mean, if you're paying me to sit there and basically do nothing, it seems like the joke's on you. You could basically reword this particular comment with, listen, if I could sit you in a room and pay you a nice wage to just sit there and do shit all day, I would. I mean, how backwards does that sound? Hey, atheists, before you judge me, let me say that I was not indoctrinated. I feel like this is one of those times where you say something and then you immediately follow up with evidence that you are that thing. Like saying, I'm not racist, but... And then you say some racist shit or something. I'm not a homophobe. But you just gotta clarify that. So I feel like we're coming up on some very indoctrinated talk here. I became a believer through very extensive research. What I fucking tell you? I'm not indoctrinated, but I came to God through research. I'm a biologist who has also been researching archaeology my entire life. We should be able to debate without making childish fun of each other. Now, with my research, I found proof of the biblical God that nobody can refute. The only thing people can do is accept or ignore it. I'm not like these idiot believers on other YouTube channels who claim they have proof, but yet they can't hold up to scrutiny. So if anybody wants genuine proof of the biblical God, let me know, because I can prove God very easily. Whew. Well, S. Global, I will definitely have to look you up, because I'm looking for people that I can talk with about this very subject, either for my channel or for the Non Sequitur channel. So it's amazing how the same people that say the earth is not flat are also the same people that say a man can turn into a woman with 2 words. I fail. So if you believe that a man can turn into a woman, then you are more messed up in the head than any flat earther. So check your own mental illness first. Own it. Okay, for one thing, transgendered people don't just change their gender because they like they say I feel or anything like that. It's an actual biological distinction, okay? You demeaning them in this way just makes you an asshole. And no, me accepting the science on, you know, what what gender is and how it's a spectrum and how complicated the whole concept of gender is not me being like mentally ill. The fact that you think flat earthers make more sense than accepted science is very telling. John, you got badly owned by Kent Hovind. He backed up everything he said while you constantly shook and covered your head, etc. But you know how good he is? You must have known what to expect. Actually, I did know what to expect, and that's why I prepared my presentation the way that I did. Or, not really a presentation, my monologue or whatever. The fact that this entire debate over the global flood and whatnot has been discarded since like the early 1900s, I would say is, indicative of how much proof he actually has. And the fact that I can just bring up simple and basic geologic facts, let alone biological facts about evolution and everything. I don't know. I can't take your comment seriously. Mainly because you think that I only shook my head and everything like that, and facepalm. I actually gave good rebuttals. So I get that you don't think I had good rebuttals, but that's because you're fucking indoctrinated with creationism. This individual begins his spiel with the phrase, "What's up, heathens?" A target audience. Avoid. Hey, I do target heathens out there, and I've gotten a little bit of shit from some people out there about my use of heathens, because a lot of people take the pagan sort of definition of heathens, meaning pagan religions and everything like that, but that's not at all what I mean, because a modern use of the word heathen just means that you're not part of one of the big three religions. Atheists would definitely fall into that category. It's a very broad spectrum that would include pagans, as well as other people that are in different religions that are not part of the big three, being Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Don't think the world will never end one of these days. It will end. The blood moon is a sign to what will happen down here on Earth. Wait, so it's a sign of what will happen down here on Earth? Do you mean like one day the sun is going to shine in a certain way that it just blankets the Earth with red light or something? Like, is the refraction in the atmosphere, the Rayleigh scattering, is it going to scatter in such a way where the red light actually goes down and everything's illuminated in red? Because that's all that's happening with the blood red moon. The sunlight hits the atmosphere and the red light is scattered more and it is cast upon the moon, and the moon becomes a blood red moon. I don't know what you mean. Like, I don't know why these people think the blood red moon will cause the end of the Earth, or that the end of the Earth or civilization or the apocalypse is going to come when the moon turns red, because it's done that for like, millions of years. So I don't understand this particular prophecy. And then finally in the comments, we got Doug Nelson. I work with a nice Christian fella that explained to me how there is a place in hell reserved for me because I have a friend that is gay and I am not stopping him from being gay. This guy now calls me gay too. I can see there is no use in explaining to these people. They are entrenched in their beliefs. I have tried logical arguments all the way through inconsistencies in the Bible. So now I just get enjoyment out of calmly saying, if I am going to hell with my gay buddy, we are going to have fun because he is a lot more fun to be around than you. That sets him off much like you would not believe. And Doug, I have to say that particular statement does end up triggering them pretty hard. And I had to say, I'm so glad that you decided to stick by your friend that's in the LGBT community, your homosexual friend, because that's what we need to do against these types of bigots. We don't need to cave to the peer pressure of these religious fundamentalists that don't like the LGBT crowd. We need to stand strong with the LGBT community. Just doing simple things like this makes you an ally to the LGBT community. Well, heathens, that's it for today. That's all the comments that I got. Well, I've got more, but I'm saving them up. I gotta spread this shit out, right? If you haven't yet, go down below into the description or into that first pinned comment and click that vote link and go and vote for the dumbass this week. While you're down there, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you like these kind of dumbass comments. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice, and I will see you heathens later.